Hi, everyone. It's Marilyn Allori, and welcome to Who Can It Be Now? I am very excited today because I'm doing something different. I am doing a rapid fire coaching with a group of people that are in my programs, Next Level Living and Membership for Your Soul. And the reason why I'm doing this, there's a few reasons why I'm doing this. One of the reasons is I want people to have the opportunity to ask me questions and get really, really incredible responses from my guides, not necessarily from me. The other reason why I'm doing this is that I feel like when I bring people on and they ask questions that probably you have, it really helps the experience. Like you get to learn so much more through other people's experiences, through other people's questions, through other people's struggles, whatever they're going through. So I find it so much better than if it's just me like chatting away, telling stories. I'm moving into the energy of my guides right now. It's so much better than me just doing what I do or what my experience is. Like just the other day, I posted on Facebook on my personal page about VIP days and how I don't fully understand them. And I kind of think they're a waste of money. I'm not going to get into the whole story about that. And some woman commented in a very respectful manner about how she loves them and how it really has elevated her life and really has been an incredible experience for her. And I was like, thank you so much for sharing that, because somebody else may agree with that. Like we all have different opinions. We all come from different life experiences. We all come from different um, past experiences. And I think it really helps if we can sit here and respect each other's opinions and hear from each other and learn and grow as a community, as a group. So I just always find it great if I can bring my guides through to answer questions. And you might be home thinking, I really wish I could talk to Marilyn right now, or Marilyn's guides, I should say, and ask her this particular question. And then somebody on this pod party may actually ask a question that's in alignment or in where you're at right now. So they're already kind of starting me. So before we go forward, I want everybody to just, if you're walking and listening to this or washing dishes, do whatever you need to do. But I just want you to close your eyes and I want you to take some really deep breaths into the bottom of your stomach. You're going to hear an interview. You probably already heard the interview by the time this comes out on the podcast with Sienna Smith. Sienna Smith did a breathing course in Membership for Your Soul, and that interview is phenomenal. I can't tell you which number it is right now, but go and listen to that interview because she talks about how many of us just breathe shallow in our chest and we're taking way too many breaths a minute. So I just want you to take a really deep breath and exhale for the same amount of time. And she talks about 6 counts. So you can do it again. Breathe in for 6 counts. And breathe out for 6 counts. Breathe in for 6 counts. And breathe out for 6 counts. And anytime you're experiencing some type of anxiety in your life, I suggest that you do that. I suggest that you stop what you're doing and you start breathing in for 6 counts. And if you can close your eyes and really picture your breath moving through your physical body, it's going to help you to connect with yourself, to your soul. And it's also going to help you to feel calm and peaceful. One of the things people are always asking me, how can I communicate with my guides? And they think there's like this special scientific formula that's living out there in the world that you have to learn in order to connect with your guides. And really what you have to do is learn your own system, learn your own instrument, learn how to be with yourself. So I work with breath quite a bit when I'm teaching people how to communicate with their guides, because everybody right now, bring your attention to your breath inside your physical body. And notice when you bring your attention inside, you're literally bringing your focus to your inner self. You're focusing into your inner guidance system. And when you do that, the outside world can melt away. And this is the best way to connect with your guides, because if you breathe inside your physical being and then say you feel a guide to the right of you, and you send your breath from your inner awareness, that's why I call it inner awareness, to your guide to the right of you, and you start breathing with that guide. And every time you inhale, you take breath from that area of where they're standing. And every time you exhale, you send them breath to that area. You are right away connecting with your guide. You don't need some magical formula. Everything you need, you have, it's inside of you. And your breath is your divinity. It's your divine gift. It's why, you are here. You are gifted this experience on earth, and you're here for a reason. You have these incredible gifts inside of you that are meant to get out there, however you choose to, whether it's helping your neighbor or it's talking to 1,000 people. It doesn't matter how you do it. Every single one of those arenas is worthy. You decide what's worthy and you do what you decide to do. So I'm going to just talk for a few minutes more as I'm communicating with my guide that I want to share with all of you. And while I'm doing this, I want you to think about a question that you have that you feel like if you knew the answer, and you may not even know what the question is, but if you knew the answer, you would be able to move mountains. You'd be able to stop being stuck. You would stop banging against the wall. You would really move forward. Because one of the things, so I communicate a lot with my community. I'm calling my academics because I just don't like the word students. I don't feel like the people in my community are students. I feel like they are academics. And my academics, they ask me this is part of the reason why I'm doing these pod parties. They ask me these incredible questions. Some of them have direct access to me through an app and through different means. And the questions they ask are so incredible. And I end up channeling these answers to them that I'm even like, a lot of times I don't remember them, but during the moment, I'm like, wow, this is such incredible information. I need to get it out there into the world. And the reason why I'm doing these pod parties is because I really feel like I'm very blessed to have such an incredibly gifted, beautiful community of people in my communities. As well as I have to say, this extends out to now the people who are reading my book, people who are following me on Facebook. A lot of people are starting to follow me on my personal Facebook page, people who are listening to my podcast. It's not about me, guys. It has nothing to do with me, except that Marilyn herself has started to walk in more courage to share the messages that I'm getting and to put myself out there more to be seen and heard. That's my work. But everything that's coming through me is coming from my guides. It's coming from divinity. It's coming from from source. We all have access to that. So the reason why I want to do this is to show you that what I have, you have too. And somebody may ask a question today that really helps you to anchor into the belief inside your soul, the belief inside your system. So the other night I was watching something about activation codes and prosperity codes. And if you know anything about me, I don't get into mass consciousness of conversations like that because I can't stand them. I feel like people hear a term and they jump on it. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and then it dilutes the actual organic meaning that spirit wanted us to discover for ourselves. So there's all these opinions going out around there, and you have to find the person who really maybe speaks the opinion that you resonate with. And you have to be able to discern that. But also, I just find like I stay away from that stuff because I'm just like, I just want to know for myself. So if you hear a term like prosperity codes, abundant codes, of course, I'm going to teach you something right now about it. When the ascension was the big word, now it's like elevated consciousness, whatever it is. I'd love for you to tune in yourself to your own guidance system, your own guides, and ask them what they think it is. I was writing an article today about a blog, and I'll stop in a minute to go to the questions, but I was writing a blog today about how to communicate with your spirit guides. And I'm working with an SEO person, that's search engine optimization, and they give me different kinds of subtopics. And it's really hard for me to work that way sometimes because I'm like, man, I just do my own thing. But I happened to come upon an article that they suggested for me. And I don't usually read the articles because I don't really, this is going to sound arrogant, but I don't really care what people think about a lot of the topics. I just take the information from my guides. So I don't read other people's articles. But I happened to glance at it for a second. And the woman was sharing exactly what I believe about guides. And it's kind of a cool moment. Somebody I don't know, somebody who's being revered in a really beautiful platform. So good for her. And I was like, wow, we have the same belief system. And I don't study this with anybody else. I study this from my guides. So it's kind of cool if you can go in with your guides and like give them terms that you've heard of and ask your guides what they think about the full moon next month. Ask your guides what they think about the new moon. And you'll be amazed at what you will learn. And then maybe you'll look it up somewhere and you'll be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Like I am getting information. I don't want you to use it as confirmation, but I'd like you to use it as exploration. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to say is they were talking to me about prosperity codes. I was looked at something about prosperity codes. I didn't even listen to it. And I went to sleep and they showed me this whole thing in our system that are made up of threads, like these threads, this intricate cobweb. And I actually did a reel about it. So you'll see it on Facebook and you'll see it on Instagram. And I would suggest you go there and listen to it. It's very short. But I want you to think right now, as I ask the initial question, for those of you who are not going to be able to ask me a question, anybody who's listening, think about this intricate web that is in your physical being. And these are based on belief systems laid there by past experiences, maybe things that didn't go your way, or somebody told you, no, you can't have that, or you grew up poor, so you just had this belief that you can't have anything you want. Whatever it is, it's these belief systems that are working against you. And I want you to think of a question like the one I posed to you, like, how can I unravel this thread inside of me so I could stop knocking up against the wall and I could start receiving everything that God's Spirit has for me. And I can really embrace and embody the magical being that I am. So think of your question now, and then I'm going to start taking questions. Think of your question now, and then I'll tell you what else to do. Okay. So as I take these hot seats, they have rules. I'm going to give you those rules. But as I'm answering people's questions, anything that resonates with you, hits you in your heart, I want you to write it down. I want you to make note of it. At the end of this pod party, you'll have an entire reading. So if you're walking in the woods and listening to this like I do, and you can't write things down, or maybe you could grab your phone and pause and put it in your notes section. But make note of it, because what you're going to find is by the end of this, you're going to have a reading for yourself based on what I've said to other people, and only write down what resonates with you. Like, ooh, that hit my heart in a really good way. Ooh, that made me feel uncomfortable. Don't only take the good stuff. Look at everything. But whatever you feel like you want to write down, bring attention to, you'll know what it is. And then write it down. At the end, you'll have a reading for yourself answering your own question. And not only that, you will have, sorry, they're talking to me. You will have questions answered that you didn't even know you had questions to. You will have answers to questions you didn't even know you had questions. Okay. All right. So here are the rules. And I'm going to start with my beautiful little Sharon first, because she came onto this call. You didn't hear her because I didn't record it. Sharon, you're only allowed to ask the question in 2 sentences. 2 sentences. And I'm gonna answer it. So Sharon's been with me for quite some time. I love her dearly, and she knows it. Okay, go ahead. You got 5 minutes. Let's see what happens.
What do I need to know about sacred contracts that I don't know, that is unwilling to let me cut the cord so that I can move on to what is actually meant for me?
It's a great question. So she pulled a card before this and she was reading the card, and I thought it was interesting. One of the things I'm going to say right away with you, Sharon, is that there's a couple of things coming up for me. One is right away, I had to spray my throat chakra, because there's so much, it's not your question in itself. There's so much belief. Like, first of all, let me ask you this, Sharon, before I go to myself, and then you know how I work. It'll summarize and I'll get the thoughts out. Do you believe in the word contracts? When people say spiritual contracts, do you believe in that word?
Yes, I believe in contracts. I believe that there is a path for me. And I feel like I've been making the wrong choices.
Okay. Let me answer this then, because I don't believe in contracts, but that's a belief system, right? It doesn't matter. So it's okay that you believe in contracts. Who wrote your contract? Who do you think has the power? That's it, right?
That's it. Yeah, because it's like we're talking about truth. Whose truth?
Right.
Don't believe anybody else's truth. It's just mine. That's the really important part of
right.
that.
So I feel like a lot of us have gotten off on this kind of, so let me ask you this. I'm going to really turn this over to you. What is the contract that you want dissolved? What do you feel like is the contract that somebody else wrote, maybe because whatever life circumstances happened and you had to go down a certain path? What was that contract?
Well, that's it. It's my path, because the truth of the matter is I didn't want to teach. and it was a fallback position. And that's what happened, because I had this accounting professor tell me that this was not my calling, but I needed that class to pass in order to track business, if that was how I wanted to go. So I listened to that, and then I fell into this, and it's been good because it taught me a lot, but at the same time, it didn't bring me joy.
Right. And that
So
happens to a lot of people. So I get that. So the
yeah.
accounting teacher, he wrote a contract.
Mm-hmm. That I
Um,
believed, which was I shouldn't have. And then
it's
I
okay.
said,
We
okay,
all,
well, this is good.
but here, let me stop you right here. You
Mhm.
shouldn't have. You just wrote a contract that you shouldn't have believed it. So how do you release it at this moment in time, knowing what you know?
Well, that's the challenge point, because up until now, I realized the other day that that's how I've been defining myself, by what I
Right.
was doing. And
Right.
even when I was doing 3 things at once, I still defined myself by that one major thing in education.
Okay. So here's my next question.
Yes.
You're still defining it's okay because we're having context. You're giving me context, which is
Mhm.
great. But how can you define yourself in a new way? What is the new contract you want to write? And who do you want to write this contract with? It's like what Denzel Washington said to that kid who played in the Hurricane with him, and he was a new actor, and he said, it's between God and you. That's it. So now you're going to write a new contract. What is that contract going to say?
That's the question.
What do you want to do?
First and foremost, I want to be visible.
Okay,
That's the first thing.
Visible doing what?
Well, that's it. I mean, at one point I would have said singing, but now I'm thinking I want to write a book, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
now why can't you sing today?
Oh, I can. I can. I just.
Why can't you sing? Okay. What were you going to say, honey? I cut you off.
No. I'm trying to think, because look, bottom line is I can really do anything. Like, I know that. I feel that in my bones. And when my health is optimal, I know I can do it.
Wait, so I'm going to stop you. You
Yeah.
feel it in your bones, which is
Mhm.
fascinating conversation to me. And then you went into
Yeah.
health, and I was focused on the bones part, because I would say I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my spirit. So you're feeling all of this not moving forward, people telling you things in your bones, and that's affecting the physical health.
Yes. Yeah. It definitely is.
So I'm going to give you something to do, because I'm really going to keep to this rapid fire work,
Yes.
but I think you're doing great, sweetie. What I want you to do is I want you to rewrite a contract, but I want it to be with God, divine, your higher self. But I really want you to rewrite it. Then I want you to sing it out loud. And as you sing it, I want you to visualize the vibration of your voice and the words going into your bones, into your physical being, and healing you.
I just got chills.
Okay. There's so much more here. So the last piece I want to give to you, for anybody who's listening, I want you to start acknowledging. See, this is why I don't like the word well, it's okay, because I love that you like this word. It's actually really good. I want you to notice how many times an old contract pushes up against you.
Yes.
Spirit saying, and you know what I'd love for you to do? I'd love for you to write down all those old contracts on separate pieces of paper, the accountant teacher, all these beliefs. Then I'd like you to burn the frig out of them.
Okay. Yeah,
but I want you to sing while you're burning them.
Oh, okay.
Hey, sweetie. Then I need you pouncing on the ground with your feet, because you need to be seen in your new body. Okay, sweetie?
Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thank you, Sharon. I love you. You know that.
Yes.
So I want you Does everybody here have a question? Because I'm going to do something new. Everybody has a question? Sharon, please look at the chat because not everybody's on video. And I want you to pick the next person.
Okay, let me see.
And then I don't know who, I may not do this the whole time. Just what I'm feeling like doing.
You know what? I'm going to call Sandra because she's new.
Okay, the new Sandra.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. Great work. Okay, so Sandra, you have to give me the question in 2 sentences. I did read your email, so I know a little bit about you, but I don't need it. And then you have 5 minutes. Go, girl.
Okay. So my question is, what do I need to know to get my private nursing business going, to start getting clients? Am I on the correct path right now?
Well, you know what's interesting for you? I feel the same thing. So I had a little anxiety in my heart and in my chest with this question. And I feel like, and then my heel doesn't want to hit the ground. What they want me to say to you right away, and then I'll check in with you in a second, but I want to just go into this, is that this isn't work. So it's not the way that you've done it before. You're doing it in an entirely new way. And they said, this is the right path, but there's actually more. They said, you're almost limiting yourself in a definition because you're just starting to, it's not that you're starting to acknowledge the gifts inside of yourself. And because you're starting to acknowledge the gifts inside yourself, you're not ready to fully say, okay, I'm going to be this holistic healer and I'm going to be doing it with channeling. I'm going to be doing it with reading. I'm going to be doing it hands-on. I'm going to be doing this and this and that. Instead, you're like, okay, I'm comfortable being a nurse. I'm an extraordinary nurse. So I'm going to create my business in the box that I know. But Spirit's like, she knows though, if she creates it this way, it's the avenue, it's the entrance into what she really wants to be. So there is nothing holding you back. If you take steps every single day towards this career, it's just going to unfold. But Spirit is saying, tell her to stop trying to figure it out because there is no definition to this. This is going to be evolving as she's going forward. Now, getting clients, that to me, so they said, so what happens with me with clients is, and it's happening much more now, I align with my truth. I align with the people I want to work with. And I stop looking at that's all I want in my field. And because I focus so much on the people that really like all of you who want to grow, that's what gets attracted to me. I want you to focus more on who the type of people you want to work, how incredible their opportunity is going to be seen and heard by you. And I just want you to start thinking then, where are those people hanging out? So in a little bit of marketing, you need to know where they're hanging out, where they're going, and who they're going to need that type of help. But I also need you having a voice, possibly on Facebook or wherever you choose to do it, talking about how your nursing background plus your spirituality is allowing you to create healing in people in a much more profound way. What's your question to me with what in other words, you're on the path. You need some systemized ways of doing it. You also need to know, Spirit said, that it's not work. This is not work. I love what I do. So if there's a part of you that's afraid that you're building a whole new career that's going to be exhausting, you're not going to, but there's also an exhaustion that comes with working with clients. So we'll talk about that another time. What question do you have with what I said? And you don't have to agree with anything I said. You're new to me. Oh my.
Actually, I've heard quite a bit. I don't know if it's from my soul, my guides. I'm still figuring that all out. I keep hearing, stop trying to figure this out.
Yeah. My ear started ringing. I don't know if you heard it. The mic probably picked it up. I said, oh, my ear is ringing. That's clairaudience opening up.
I've been getting ringing in my ears, my left side. Yeah. That's where my guide is too. Osen is on my left side.
So, oh, great. I'm on my left. I was pointing in my left ear. Great. Okay. So trust it. Trust it. Here's the other thing too. If you go you're in membership, so go to the clairaudience lesson.
Yeah.
And I know you have a slight interest in Next Level Living. You might have a slight interest. That is what we're going to be focusing in on next month is clairaudience. But here's what I would have you do, Sandra, for anybody who wants to open clairaudience. I want you, it's in your throat chakra. I want you opening your throat chakra. That was one of the first things that struck me was your heart was a little bit anxious. Mm-hmm. And it could have been, she's pretty comfortable in herself. Your throat chakra was a little bit to me. And then your right heel was up. If the right heel's up, you're just not sure where to stand, where to step. none of us with 2020. So I used to be a future reader. With 2020, the future went gone. And that's a really good thing because spirit wants us to have a vision of where we want to go, surrender to it, surrender to this, to something even greater happening, and then take step by step by step. What's the next 3 steps you need to take for this career?
Well, today I actually just hired a coach that's helping me with like my social media, and I actually am on. She helped me create or to sort of gave me guidance on what to do on Facebook and Instagram. So I am posting 3 days a week on different baby topics. So but it's the legalities too that I'm working out to be a registered nurse privately. There's some loopholes, so that's what I'm working on right now too.
Good. Do that, because that'll clear the space for you to be free of what you need to be free, how you need to be free. Okay. I think I want to add real quickly, because I don't want to run out of time. I'm not going to get to everybody. What is the specialty that you want to focus in on?
Oh, it's new parents 0 to 12 months of age, in particular Indigenous population, special needs, because I have a 28-year-old son with autism and former NICU babies because of my background in NICU.
Love that. So what I would like you to do is find, if you haven't done this already, Facebook groups where these people hang out.
Yeah, I have been.
Good. Start looking at those comments and really start building social media material based on the comments.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, and I give kind of free advice. I'm also a HealthLink nurse for people that aren't in the Canada. HealthLink is like teletriage nursing, so people will call and get help with free help. With any area, and I tend to get a lot of the baby calls, so they seem to. It's funny. It's not a coincidence. Calls will drop out, and then the next call will be the call that I'm meant to talk to. So
good.
It happens all the time.
So you're on the path. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay.
Okay.
Great job. Let's. I'm gonna have you pick the next person.
Well, I like Sandra, so I guess the other Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Gotta stick together.
Sandras have to stick together. Okay, for anybody who's listening or wherever you are, I want you to think about the initiating question that you had. I want you to think if you've gotten any type of information or wisdom from the past 2 callers, and if another question wants to be born out of that. If not, stay with your same question. But when I read Sandra, I want you to pay attention to the visuals of it. So if I say to Sandra, you need to go and walk down to the water and stick your hands in the water, notice which visual components jump out at you, and you can write that down. And that's a way of opening up your clairvoyancy to the reading. Now, there's so much more that I could share about that, but let's just play with your psychic gifts as well. All right, Sandra, you know how it works.
I do. And I want to say that I went from do I to how do I because of how you answered Sandra's. And this is beautiful because it comes right in line with what you were speaking about with her. So how do I let go of one of my signature programs that really helps others? Because I want to deep dive into the other one because it actually gives me more joy and it feels more like self-care, and it takes myself and the people that are with me deeper into deeper relationships with their guides. So how do I do that?
Is your signature program still making you money?
Yes, right now, yeah.
Okay. I would say to you, build the other program no matter what. And this is the struggle I had with Soul Finder Academy and Next Level Living. And I'm still even though people are buying Soul Finder Academy and there's no live component to it, it's still kind of not feeling, I'm not sure with it yet. But I have to tell you, focus on, here's the question I have for you. are you concerned that the people that would normally go to your signature program, are you able to give your signature program without any live components that will free you up for the other program? And are you concerned that you won't be able to, what's your concern about just doing the next level program right now?
Because it's not a big jump for me. It's a big jump for getting people into it, I guess.
Well, you need to break that down, because what I was picking up is it's the same thing. Okay, so what I would suggest you do is do a town hall like I did with Next Level Living. Get all those people who've taken your signature program on a call, start talking a bit about what you want to do, and ask them if this is something that would answer their needs. Because I did that with all of you with SFA, and Next Level Living was born. I knew you guys wanted something else, right? So I want you to do that, because what's happening is you, like me, you don't know what this, you know what this program is, you know the deeper dive that it can do, but there's no proven track record yet. And those, I think that's great. And you can't worry about it. The first call I ever did, I felt insecure. I walked away. I was like, I don't know if that was good enough, because I had elevated people in there. And then it's just grown from there. There's something you want to say. Go ahead.
There is the program that I would like to leap into and give my heart to has actually been running for a year. It's proven.
Okay.
It's just the amount of people in it, right? So I just want to transition to more people coming in there.
Your energy is divided. It's like when I decided not to do readings anymore and I wanted to grow membership, and it was really scary to walk away from the income of readings. And I'm doing the same thing with SFA in a way. SFA, I think it made like close to $500,000. It made a lot of money. And I walked away from that. I walked away from selling it. My business took a bit of a hit, up until now when I'm doing this recording. But I had to do it because I couldn't do anything else. You have to trust that that's where Spirit wants you to go. Does that make sense, honey?
It does. And I love hearing this, because it's been forming now for a couple weeks, and I'm really realizing it more and more. And yeah, I'm watching you, Well,
with what we do, Sandra, we can't do anything that's not in alignment with who we are anymore. And it was hard, because I know Soul Finder Academy is still great, and that's why it's folded into Next Level Living for the new people. And it's also a cheaper program, so it would be easier to sell. But my heart, I couldn't do it anymore. I just could not sell it any longer. You're meant to just go into the higher level program. You're yourself. You have evolved so much. You're such an incredibly magical being. Yeah. Sandra's actually, the class this month is in Membership for Your Soul. What's the name of the class in Membership for Your Soul again?
It's about the little you, inner guidance with the little you.
Right. And people are loving it. You're ready to evolve, but you have to believe that that community, those academics are there for you. They want you. They want that work. So the how-to, let me just add this one last part. Let me just get out of my own way for this. And my feet, like, again, most of you people and it goes to me. When you're walking on the earth, Sandra, I want you walking, and I'm physically saying walking, embodying this next level, this next iteration of you, teaching this. And then what I would like you to do is visualize at night speaking to hundreds of people. Because let me tell you, I've been doing that a little bit at night, because I'm working with Mantra. That's what we're going to work with in NLA next month. And it's uncomfortable to me if I had 1,000 people there. And then I was like, wait a second, I'm not the type of person that wants to be revered anyway, but my work, I want the work to be revered. So I can make that more comfortable. You need to be comfortable in what's being birthed out of you, because it's pretty phenomenal. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? Because I know totally, you're shaking your head, but you're also so respectful to me.
Yeah. No, I'm right on board. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. Okay. You're putting it to voice what I'm unable to put to voice. So thank you.
Great. Love it. And I never, ever in my life have said, I never gave a dollar amount to what a program of mine has made. That was like the first time ever I've said that. It's very uncomfortable to me. Only because, well, that's my own stuff. I'll get through that on my own. You pick someone now.
Gia.
Gia.
Hello there.
Hi, Gia. So nice to see you. Okay, Gia.
Well, you know what? I I've been getting a lot out of the read, just kind of jotting notes from everyone else so far, but I was really wanting to release this doubt and this worry and reframe sacrifice. What is the best way? And I picked up your visualization, your mantras, embodying the next level of me, but there's something missing. And it's probably doing it. Not just talking about it, but actually doing it. I don't know. What do you think? I didn't want to waste your time. So if you want to go to someone else,
No, my goodness, you're not wasting my time. Embodying what?
um, you had said embodying the next level. I think you were just speaking to Sandra Paley. You said embodying
Right.
that next level, kind of stepping into that role that I want, I guess. I don't know. You're probably getting a lot of craziness with me.
No, I know you've got a lot going on. The thing that always gets me with you, Gia, is how I'm going to move myself out of the way. You know, what they're saying, Gia, so I don't do a lot of past life stuff, but past life is coming in right here, but it's coming in a really incredible way. Like, I feel like you were a king, a very affluent, abundant. Who's Nefaris? Do you know who I'm saying? Sandra's going to know. NEF. It's coming through. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, you were a very affluent king at one time in your life, in past lives, if you believe it. And I feel like it's definitely Egyptian times. It feels like during Egypt. And it feels like you were a pharaoh. So that's what I'm getting. So the answer to this is you've done this, you've been this, you've led your people, but I have a feeling there was like some type of combat that happened where a lot of people fell. They fell ill. It could have been from a disease. It could have been something. And again, I have a really hard time with believing that past lives can affect our lives today. So I'm moving myself out of the way and letting spirit talk through me. So there's a part of you that always carries the burden of others. And it weighs so heavy in your heart. And this has gotten mixed in with your own identity of yourself. And what they want you to recognize, there's this beautiful diamond inside your heart. And they said to me that she just has to believe and decide what she wants to be and to be it. And they said, this is the thing, Gia, you're not going to be that thing every single day, 24 hours of the day. So let go of the parts when you're not being who you're meant to be and forgive and love yourself for it. They said for her to fully embrace this incredibly diamond quality inside of her, they want you to get up in the morning and they want you to visualize it. They want you to picture it. They want you to hold on to it. And when a moment of anxiety comes around, you can't heal everything. And there's a feeling of control inside of you, probably from the place where you were raised. There was a lack of safety. And you cannot control the outcome of every single person's life. It's almost like you're an extreme walking angel on this earth. And living on this earth has been such an incredibly painful experience because you care so deeply about everyone around you at a detriment to yourself. And what's going to help your family members the most is your success. You're breaking lineage. You're breaking ancestral ties. You're breaking stories. And you're meant to be the success story so that everyone around you benefits. Now, there's something, because you have a hard time acknowledging it in yourself, and I see it in you all the time. But there's something they said that I wanted to say. I know you're still doing Mary Kay, right?
Yes.
There's something about, you have barely any time, so I don't know how you would do this, but do you ever volunteer in certain types of situations, how would you help somebody who is disfigured or struggling with something, some type of condition to make them feel beautiful? How would you help them to feel beautiful?
I think I would definitely bring Mary Kay into that, not just for makeup or whatever, but just being in their space and sharing and giving them that time to just relax and be and let go and talk. So yes, product, but it's more about the heart connection.
Okay. How do you feel with what I said? Does it help you at all? Because the thing with you is I can speak all flowery words that come through, but it's up to you to decide to live it. And nobody else can help you to decide to do that but you.
Mhm.
And the one thing I'm going to say is the more success that you become, the more you're going to be able to help your family. The more successful you become. What was the one thing that stood out to you?
Whew. That idea of carrying the pain of so many others and wanting to fix it,
Yeah,
strangers and family alike.
I know. Especially I could feel it in you so much. I want you to, when you feel that, I want you to I want you to, who out of ascended masters, angels, crystals, diamonds, whatever color, allows you to feel that they would be taken care of. Like I always use Jesus. So I'm always like praying to Jesus to take care of somebody if they're going through something. Is there anything like that in your life that you feel that you could really release and relinquish your responsibility to a being to allow them to take care of your life?
I'm thinking Archangel Michael, Jesus,
Okay.
Archangel Michael, something along that line.
I need you to practice it every single day. You
Okay.
have to change the habit of the detriment to yourself. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie. Okay. Pick somebody. Nobody can hear you. We're not that psychic, all of us.
Holly.
Okay, thanks. All right, Holly.
Okay. Get this out in 2 sentences. So along the lines of things not coming about because I'm worried about getting stuck down other rabbit holes. I'm worried about getting stuck places, having to commit forever. So therefore, I feel like
That's
I'm
because
not.
you don't trust yourself.
Well, and I'm just realizing though too that it's like, but that also keeps me from being fully present because I have this past belief that in order to be fully present, I have to be committed for the long run and therefore responsible for all the outcomes and for everything. So how do I release that fear of getting stuck with all of the responsibility and having to stay to fix everything to the end to allow to actually be fully present in the moment in anything?
So my answer to that would be, Holly, how much is your life worth to you?
Priceless.
If your life is priceless and worth that much to you, why are you committing to things at a detriment to your own personal life?
Because it's more so that they're things that I want to commit to. I mean, I want to commit to things that are connected, that are outside of myself, but I leap to that I have to kind of the same thing with Gia. I need to be responsible for the outcome for that. So even in myself, if I'm fully present and actually showed up, I'm not sure.
What's the struggle? Give it to me in one sentence. What is the thing that you really need to get past?
If I show up, I can still leave when I want to. I can keep my freedom. I don't have to hide to be free.
You don't have to hide to be free. Where are you free in your life?
When I'm hiding.
Okay. And you're not free when you're being seen?
I'm not
Who's-
actually being seen because I'm only part of me is ever fully showing up because I'm always keeping everything at bay.
But here's the thing. Are you seeing yourself in every moment? Because who's imprisoning you? Nobody's imprisoning you but you.
Right.
So in the moments when you're out there and you're not being seen, are you seeing yourself?
I'm not sure. I think
If you were to fix this tomorrow, what would it look like?
this is a side note, but it comes back to some other like volunteer work that I keep when I'm in the presence of other people. I want to be like, yes, I can do this. I can help you. I can come up with all these solutions. I can fix everything. And then as soon as I step away from those people, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do all of those details. I don't want to actually show up and do all of that.
So you're giving me a little bit of like a paradox here because I said, where do you, I can't remember what I said, but I asked you, what don't you want to do anymore? And you're like, well, I want to do everything, but you don't. You just said you don't.
How do I release wanting to do everything?
Well, you wanting
And
to do
folklore.
everything is tied into, I feel, being seen and being loved.
Hmm.
There's an acknowledgement that you probably got from other people and you're not getting anymore, or you give to yourself. I'm a good person. And you are a good person. You have to redefine who you want to be in this moment. You have to decide. I think so. There's a little bit of a complication here, but we complicate things. Holly, what would happen if all of a sudden tomorrow you said, I'm not doing, what is the 3 things in your life you want to do right now? And that is it. What are they?
I think it comes back to I still need to decide what those.
No, decide right now. What are the 3? You're deciding based on fate, based on I can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have money. What are the 3 things you want to be doing? Period. End of story. You can still say you're struggling with it. That's okay. I just want to give you a little bit of a hard time around it.
Sure.
What are 3 things that you want to do every single day? Besides relationships, besides what's going on in your life, you can do these 3 things.
I want to walk, read, and make something with my hands.
How does that feel?
I instantly said fantastic, and the other one said irresponsible.
Great. There we are. Who's the irresponsible one? How old is she? Who's the great one? Who said great? How old is she? That's who I want to know. Who's the great one? Because the irresponsible one is you today. Who's the great one?
Right. I think she's actually in her 20s.
Great. I want you to get in touch with the part of you that thinks that's great. And I want you to get in touch with the part of you that thinks it's irresponsible. And the 3 of you need to have a serious conversation. And you need to start taking the lead. Holly, can you walk, read, and make something with your hands every single day?
Yeah.
What would happen if we didn't try to figure out the solutions to the problems and you just did what you love to do every single day, even if it was for 15 minutes, read for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes, and make something with your hands for 5 minutes. I don't care if it's taking 2 flowers and putting them together. What would happen if you did that without trying to figure out the solution to the problems? What do you think would happen?
I'd get a heck of a lot further than I have trying to spin my hand around solving everything for the last 2 decades.
Yeah. So now here's another thing. Do you give yourself credit for the fact of all the work that you've done on yourself?
Yeah, I think at the moment it's more that hard part because I feel like it's that we've come so far. It's so close. Isn't there just that one last thing that should, snap into? So, but yeah, I recognize. Yeah. Come
So
along.
your homework is to have a conversation with the one who thinks it's great and bring this into next level living. I want to know. And then have the conversation with the one who thinks it's irresponsible. I want you to do an active imagination with both of them, get to know them separately. And then the 3 of you are going to go make something. And literally, when I mean you go to make something, I don't care if it's drawing, fingerprinting, or anything, you have to embody all three of them. I don't care if you have 3 chairs around a table in order to embody that, but I want them all to feel free. None of them feel free.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I want you to stop. If I could break the habit for you right now that I'd like to break is stop trying to find the solution and just be. Be the solution, Spirit said. So one of the things I'd like to say, Holly, is something that's shifting for me is, you know, I'm waiting for like the therapist. I'm like, when is it going to start? What's the thing that, and I'm like, done. Just do it now. Just decide to do it now. Stop waiting for this, stop waiting for that, because the truth is I'm always taken care of in every moment. Does that help you, sweetie?
Yep.
How do you feel? Set the timer. Shoot.
Great. Extension of the last hot seat, which I'm like, oh, I thought I was asking something differently, but that's what
Okay.
I need to know is that I'm still asking the same thing. And that was, yeah, I appreciate
Great.
it. Yep.
Good. All right. I think I'm going to get to everybody. So I forgot to set the timer. I did set it for 4 minutes now. Pick someone, Holly.
Denise.
Okay. So what we're going to do this time, thanks, Holly. Great work. What we're going to do this time is I want you to, if you're listening to this, think about the question you started out with. Think about one piece of advice that you could take to put for that, to address that question, you know, to just, you know, give to that question, help you to be in that question. I think we're always looking for, it's almost like we're always trained like the happily ever after. And we have to be okay with being on the journey. But I also feel that it's really important that everybody decide to shift, decide to change, decide to make a difference. I'm seeing a new victim come up in this world, and it's the one that thinks that nothing will ever change. They do all the work, they do all the work, they do all the work, but nothing ever changes. And we get to decide if it changes or not. No matter what we're faced with, we get to decide, because we change our mindset, we change everything. Mindset is everything. So as we go into Denise now, I want you to listen for sounds. So if I talk to her about a piece of paper, what would a piece of paper sound like? Sounds crazy, right? But everybody can have the sound of a crumpling piece of paper. It's going to open clairaudience in a whole deeper way. Whatever I say to her, if I talk about a river, listen to a river. Just listen deeper to the sound, not to the words. Okay, Denise, you go now.
Okay. I've received a lot already for my question, but it's the basic question was, what do I most need to know about transitioning or completely shutting down my current healing practice to move in a new direction?
I love that. I love that for you. Okay, I'll get myself out of the way. Sorry.
That's okay.
Again, the answer is just do it. Just do it. Just decide to do it. You know, if there's any part of you that feels like there's a piece of failure, or you didn't see it through, or here you are again, not seeing something through, is there any part of that that's coming up for you?
Yes. You know, I'm trying to decide, do I completely dismantle what I've built? And it feels like it would free me, but it also feels like it would show I was a failure with that.
Right.
I'm
That's your
shutting it
opinion.
down.
Right.
Yes.
I feel like you're not fully dismantling it. What you're doing is dismantling what you've built when you were a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to take pieces of it to build this new healing practice that is going to be so much more proficient, prolific, and in alignment with who you are today. Mm-hmm. So it's not a failure. I feel like you would, if, I don't like the word failure, but let me just use that. You'd be more of a failure if you decided to stay in something that didn't resonate with your heart and soul any longer.
Right. Do you energetically, is it like I have URLs and LLC, is it better to just completely end those energetically in order to be free?
That's a good question, because it's a mindset thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it doesn't matter. Spirit's like, it really doesn't matter because the energy is up to her. But if she feels that she needs to cut the energy of the LLC in order to really prove to herself that she is leaving it behind and growing into something bigger and greater, and that's the kind of ending she needs, then that's by all means do it. And in a way, they're kind of pushing you in a way to do it, to end that stuff, to get rid of it, because they feel like with you, your energy may still be there a bit, or you may think about it, or it may just have the resonance and you're done in, and they don't feel like you're done with all of it. They feel like the things that you were doing in that practice, you're taking with you.
Yeah.
All of that is going with you. But I feel like from their response, yes, it would be good for you to close that stuff down. Now, let me say this. You may go to close it down and think differently. You'll know in the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
I feel like sooner than later. So set a date right
Yeah.
now. When you're going to close that part of the business.
Gosh, we're about to do a lot of traveling. I could do it when I get back in October, the first or second week of October.
Give a date. Just give a date, Denise. Could be November 1st. It's not a big deal, but that too has energy,
Yeah.
you know, because then we say by October 31st, I'm done. And then you get to start incorporating that into your physical system. That's what works for me.
Yeah.
So then in my body, I'm like, oh yeah, it's ending. Oh yeah. And then all of a sudden when you go to end it, you're like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah. So we're going away for a month in October. I'd like to do this by October 18th.
There you go. Write it down, put it on the calendar, start preparing yourself energetically for it now. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good job. You're welcome. All right. Now you pick the next person. There's only two left. It's Lisa
Okay.
and Cheryl.
Cheryl.
All right. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Hi, thank you so much. I've received answers from everybody's reading, and I know you spoke about that at the beginning, and it's so true. My question is with the first person is that I pulled cards too this weekend, and everyone had action words of leap, jump, dance. And my question is, in what direction am I being called to leap, jump, dance?
Cheryl, I'm going to smack you.
I know. I've been sick and on medication for the last 7 weeks, so I'm coming out of a medical
That's a
fog.
lot.
Yeah, and I'm on disability right now. I go back to work on Monday, so that's probably why where I feel that I just need to shake all that toxic stuff out.
Well, I'm sorry, first of all, that you've been sick for so long, because that's a really long time to be ill, and that can really dampen a spirit, the physical, everything. But here's the thing. Why would you ask anyone? You know me well enough to know this, and I will help you.
Right.
But why would you ask anybody where I should leap, dance, and jump? You know yourself so well.
I do.
Is it because you are afraid you're going to fail, or because you're not doing it? You're such an incredible reader. You want to help people. You want to do that work.
I do.
I could see you holding retreats too.
I know. That's what keeps coming up as well. And I think from a little bit, like I said, I received answers a little bit from everybody. Just decide the top three.
What's going to take it for you to own it and to leap and dance and jump? That's more the question that Spirit's asking. What is it going to finally be, barring you were sick, let that go, stuff like that happening. But what is standing in the way of you leaping, dancing, and jumping tomorrow, besides not feeling very well?
Me.
Okay.
And deciding.
So just decide to do it.
Right.
It's like everybody gets into, I don't have the money, I can't invest it, I don't have the time. Time's a big one for me, right? I don't have the time. Like, stop it already. Then stop complaining. I'm saying this to myself, Cheryl, not you. Mm-hmm. And I had to stop because it doesn't cost me anything. It cost me what? How much money to do a reel? And I love doing reels. There's so much out there that doesn't cost money, if money is the thing. Spend 20 minutes to do something. You have to leap, dance, and jump. That's what those cards are telling you, honey.
Right. And I know it's either, I know I want to do the readings in helping deliver messages, but I also love doing the energy work and just
Right.
trying to find that balance and combination of that service.
It's all of the above. Here's the thing. You said the readings. When somebody says to me, the readings, I want to be the actor, the author.
I want to be the vessel.
Yeah, but it's not owning. I want to do readings. I'm going to do readings. I am doing readings. I want you to come more than I am.
Right.
Instead of
I have been doing that. Everything I write is I am, it's happening and all that. So that's what I've been doing.
You don't need to decide one or the other.
Right.
This is what I would give you. And I think I gave it to Holly. Gave this Holly homework in Next Level Living. I want you to write a website as if you were doing a website. I want you writing a home page, a service page, and an about page. Because you doing that is going to help you to hone in on the type of business you want to have. Whenever we have to write a website, we have to start getting clear. What are the services we're offering? What kind of services do I want to offer? We also, in the beginning, I would say don't offer too many because that dilutes and it could get confusing. But it could be readings and healings, combination of both. Simple. Here's a reading price. Here's the healing price. Here's a combination. I still think down the line, group facilitation is going to be really great for you.
Right, because this weekend we were supposed to, create like a symbol of what we want to do. And
Go ahead.
I saw myself on a podium with a microphone, like you had just said. That's what I saw myself teaching groups.
So here's the thing, and then I forgot to hit the thing, so I'm going to have to move on, but I'm so sorry, sweetie. Here's the thing I want to share with you.
That's okay.
The biggest thing that I want to teach to spiritual entrepreneurs, it's not sales, it's not marketing, because that's super important to learn. It's believing in yourself to deliver that material to the masses. Because yesterday on the Next Level Living call, I do meditations for them every month. And the meditations, they've been like, that's amazing. Oh my goodness, it's blowing them away. So I did a meditation around empathic ability and I thought, that's incredible. And I asked them all, how was that meditation? And they all kind of just like looked away. And I was like, oh, wow, they didn't really like that meditation, possibly. I can't allow that to affect me. I can't be like, oh my goodness, I suck. Because I've given so much great stuff. You can't go out there and somebody says they don't like you. You can't crumble. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. And one of the also words was to be creative. And I think to Holly's point, it said, explore, but explore loosely, that you don't have to commit for the rest of your life on things that I'm exploring or creating. And find then what, go ahead.
You have to still commit enough to get a business up and going though.
Correct.
Okay. So the reason why I went into the podium, and I'm going to stop here, and is because I'm finding a lot of people that want to grow a business, they stay stuck because they don't really, there's a part of them that believes they can do it, but there's a large part of them that it doesn't believe, and they're afraid they're going to crumble when something happens, or clients don't come, or students don't come. You've got to get out there and do it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Does that help you?
Everyone's reading has helped me. I learned, my answer came from each person. So thank you.
Okay, good. Feel better, sweetie. All right,
Thank
Lisa,
you.
you're the last one. And this time I am setting it. I keep forgetting. Go ahead.
Well, I've already gotten a lot of information too. So my question is, what do I need to know around creating space for myself? And that would be time as well as physical space.
Yeah. Do you go to bed the same time and get up the same time? You don't, right?
Not really.
Okay.
Sort of in the ballpark within 2 hours.
Within 2 hours. When are you the most energized?
At night.
You are the most energized at night. Are you able to carve out a half an hour, 5 days a week, where you get to go someplace and just be with yourself?
Yeah.
What time would you do that? I feel like you need to set a schedule for right now in order to carve out the time. I know you have a family and stuff, and you also have a job and you're building a business. But if you're more energized at night, you need to do it at night, and you need to get into a habit of doing it almost every single night for at least 30 minutes.
I do mostly get to it actually more in the morning, later morning, but I feel like I can get a half an hour. I just feel like I have a lot of things that I want to get to. And so even though I'm kind of getting to them, it's always like, okay, I've now spent my allotted time on this. I got to jump onto the next thing, and I got to, you know, shift gears, and now I'm in the next thing. And then I have so much time devoted to that.
It's got to be, so
And I
productivity.
want a more relaxed pace.
What'd you say?
I want a more relaxed pace.
Well, the relaxed pace is not trying to get all of it done. The relaxed pace is picking in the next
Right.
90 days, what do you want to have done? This is productivity, right? So productivity is, what do you want to have accomplished in the next 90 days?
Right. Well, some of this is stuff that I can't control. I can't say, oh, in 90 days it's going to be done. Like, for example, I spend time with my parents. My mom is on her deathbed, and my dad, I'm kind of taking care of my dad. I don't know how long that's going to go on. I'm not taking care of, but you know, I mean, it's that kind of thing where it's not like, okay.
Right.
But
But your initial question, what was it around? What aren't you having enough time for? That was your initial question.
well, okay, so what I think I really just want a more relaxed pace. So that I can spend. I would like to go sit with my mom and not feel like, okay, I've been here for 45 minutes. I now need to leave because I got to get on to the next thing. Or I would like to, in the morning, for example, spend time doing spiritual work or journaling or whatever without having to say, okay, well, now time's up. I need to get started. I need to get on my work call. Or, you know, I'm just not sure how to.
Lisa, again, I'm going to say, I understand this, but what I'm going to say to you is that there are things that are on your plate that need to go, especially if you're in a caretaking type of situation right now. Because you want to be able to spend that quality time with your mother, right?
Right.
So this is what I need you to do. I need you to keep a calendar of how you're spending your time for the next week. And then I would like to look at it with you. You can send it to me at Next Level Living or the direct messaging. And I'd really like you to start looking at what can go away for right now. Because what is your biggest goals in 90 days? Some of that might be quality time with your mom. You have to take care of your dad. There's something in there that's going to have to go.
Okay.
But you can't, if you're all over the place, you can't figure that out. So there are things that may be a lot of fun or that you want to get to that you're just going to have to say no to for right now. But if you know that you're doing quality stuff for yourself in this moment, then you know the next quarter you can get to that other thing. So I almost need to see the list of things on your day in order to be able to help you to organize it better.
Okay.
And then the other part of it is you being in the moment and really being in the moment.
That makes sense.
So it's been so busy for me with work. You know, it's just going off on its own. I said it. I've been really busy with work, and I've known, like, I've worked weekends almost every single weekend. I think last weekend was the first weekend I took off in months. It's just something I have to do right now. I've had a whole team change. I've had a lot of things. I know it's not forever.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at too. I know it's not forever, but in the meantime, I'm feeling so weighed down by it.
Well, I think you're being hard on yourself. That's why. I think you're not giving yourself the releasing of, okay, I'm going to journal. And I'm going to journal for 45 minutes. I'm going to set the timer. I'm not even going to think about it. And I'm going to allow myself to enjoy this moment of 45 minutes of journaling. End of story. Okay, the timer went off because I have a lot going on. I'm going to stop journaling right now and I'm going to move to the next thing. But you're not allowed to think of the next thing when you're in the moment of the thing you're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think you're trying to get a lot done and you're being hard on yourself and not getting a lot done. Because I thought you were talking about your business.
Well, I mean, that is, yes, that is part of the whole thing, that I want to devote more time to that, but that's just one of many things, you know?
Yeah. I need to see the list. I had somebody else do this, and when they showed me the list of the stuff that they were doing, there was a lot of wasted. I hate to say that about anybody, but there was
Right,
a
I
lot of
know,
wasted
right.
time on there. But sometimes the wasted time is needed. Okay. Does that help you at all?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Let's do really quick, because this is going way over than I'm normally go. One big takeaway. Lisa, I don't feel like we're done with this, so we'll continue on with this. So just know I'm here to support you with it, okay? And I'm sorry to hear about your mom. The other thing I could say about productivity for all of you is it's something that spiritual entrepreneurs struggle with quite a bit. But then we also have to acknowledge the fact that sometimes things happen. Parents get ill, you get ill. And I think in those moments, you really have to redefine what's important. And then also notice when you're redefining what's important, if you're being hard on yourself for not getting something. Like I was supposed to do the new second podcast in October. It was supposed to happen. October is what, 2 weeks away? I didn't even start it. But I didn't expect that I was going to have so many team changes within 4 months. And I don't beat myself up for that, because you know what? I know that every choice I'm making is a great choice. That's the other thing I'd have you look at, Lisa, is every choice you're making a great choice. Ask yourself that. And when you're sitting down with your mom, be like, this is a great choice. This is what I'm going to do right now. Okay. All right, honey. Okay. One big takeaway from everyone. Sharon, one big takeaway, and not 5 minutes long for everybody, because I feel like we went so long. Sharon's been on her phone the whole time. Oh, because you're on Zoom there, huh? You have to unmute, honey. I can't hear you. What's your one big takeaway? All right. For some reason it's not working.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what was happening. Okay, my one big takeaway, well, actually I have two. Why am I committing myself to things that are detriment to myself? And what do I really need to do to recommit to the person that I want to be?
Okay. And here's the next question I'm going to add to that for anybody who's doing this. And why aren't you committing or deciding to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Great one. All right. I'm going to go to Sandra.
Oh, I'm the only Sandra right now.
Yes.
To believe in myself that I can deliver to my future clients.
Love it.
I think
Perfect.
there's some doubt there, right? So, yeah.
And you're really going to know it when you do it. But also while you're in conversations with people or past experiences, write down how you helped. Write down for yourself, keep a journal of how you're helping people. And you're not going to come from ego. It's just a place of acknowledgement. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Good. Holly.
Decide it, then be it.
Like it. That's a good one. Gia.
My family is directly connected to my success.
I love that one. That's a good one. Thank you. Denise.
You actually said this to someone else, but it really hit me. I am ready to evolve. And then I added, it's time to believe this.
Yeah. Cheryl.
Sing and use the vibration to heal my lungs and body, and use my voice in amazing ways.
Love that. It's beautiful. I have a tip I'm going to give all of you in a second. Lisa.
Be fully present in the moment.
Good. Okay. You know, sometimes the moments are painful too, so it's hard to be fully present in them, but it's worth it. I'm here for you, sweetie. If you need anything, let me know. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a lot of fun. So here's the tip I'm going to give all of you. It came out on an Instagram live reading I was doing, and I'm actually going to do a reel with it. I want you all to connect with the type of business you want to do or the type of person you are when you're doing that business. And I want you to open up your mouth and just sing, just make sounds, just be like, oh, whatever comes out. And the reason why I want you to do that is it helps you to resonate with where it lives inside your physical being. So you give voice to what it is that you do without having to give it words and definition. So you give it vibration, you give it sound, you anchor it into your soul, you anchor it into your body. And by speaking it out loud, it's also a clairaudient exercise, but it's also great because your ears then hear it. And when your ears are receiving the sound that you're making from the root of what it is you want to be or what you want to do, then the sound travels back into your ear and goes back into your system, and it just becomes all magically gifted together. And it's a great way to take ownership of your gifts, what you do. Okay. So do that. All right, everyone. So I'm going to, one sec. Thank you so much for listening. And again, please rate, review, subscribe. I didn't say it in the beginning of this. Rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast if you're getting a lot out of it. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in joining any of my programs, definitely check out Next Level Living. It's MarilynAloria.com/next. And you can also check out Membership for Your Soul. Next Level Living is an application only program. So you have to fill out an application unless you went through Soul Finder Academy. And Membership for Your Soul, you can join it anytime. So check it out. And thank you so much. Have an incredible day or night whenever you're listening to this. Bye.